My phone's gonna die, but I don't have the most time. So, set intentions, right? So, your what you want is an intention, right? If you intend to get what you want, that's something that's going to happen, and the only thing that's going to stop that from happening, I'm just gonna put this right here. The only thing that's gonna stop that from happening is you, because all obstacles in the world are just perceptions within, and that kind of doesn't make sense, but it makes sense when you realize that you just have to get past every obstacle. And if you can't get past the obstacle, then it's not within the physical it's not within the physical breathe. Just breathe. We're gonna move on. I think you understand. Just don't listen to obstacles, and all obstacles are physical, and if you can't get past them physically, get past them mentally within your own desire, and make that desire within the physical possibilities. So half the time on a best option or an okay option or option C. What is option C? So the best option is what you want to do most, what excites you the most. An okay option is something you know you should do, but you probably shouldn't do. Like, you probably don't want to do, right? Like discipline action or a courageous action, right? Taking a risk or doing something you don't want, but it's more of a responsible, less lazy action, right? And then option C, what is option C? That is up to you. If you can figure out anything besides taking that courageous option, that disciplinary option, or the most exciting option, right? Because hopefully the best option is the most exciting option, and sometimes it's not, and because what you will do is always the best option, right? Because if it's not the best option, it's going to be an okay option. If it's not an okay option, it's going to be an option C, which is anything besides what you don't want to do and what you don't need to do, which means that you figured out there's something that you can do with that you didn't think was possible. So keep that in mind. Basically, the best option, an okay option, and an option you can't even think of, or you have to pick one of these, basically. That's the more logical, practical side of things. Now the deeper side is God. So who is God? Just ask yourself, who is God? Who am I? What's my relationship with God? If you think about that for just like, if you want to pause this video, think about your relationship with God for a second. That will help understand the rest of this. You're most likely, this is me actually. This is an example of, you're somewhere in between here. You're somewhere where one of these words relate to you the most. Just apply it to God. So inward means look inward to God, and outward, if you can't look inward, you look outward to God. That's with other people, with the Bible, whatever you need. And also there's plenty of options if you're more like, I don't really want to go towards other people when I don't feel God inside of myself. I usually just meditate, and that's what helps me. And there's a lot of people online that you can trust. Not trust, but more like you have they have the most credibility for your style of thinking, and you just want to get your logical side aligned with your emotional side, basically. Breathe, right? There's never a bad time to breathe besides if you're underwater, right? And when you're underwater, you're not relaxed because you want to breathe. So that's an analogy, and if you want to think about that, you can. Witness God, right? Witness God all around you, right? Witness everything. Witness is such a good word to describe who you are. You are a witness for everything because you are not your body, you are not your mind. If you think you're your mind, let's move on. Which part of your mind belongs to God, right? Not the demon inside of you, because there's a demon inside you that makes the wrong decisions, but there's always something that belongs to God. I don't mean to scare you if that scares you, but let's move on. Create. Also, you belong everywhere, no matter where you are. Let's sit on belong for a second. You belong everywhere because the sense of belongingness is not from the world, it's from God. So you belong because God, you're inside of God's hands at all times. Create for God, create within God, just create anything. Creativity is in you by God, in the Holy Spirit of your nature, basically. Serve God, serve yourself, serve your highest purpose. Those are pretty blanket terms, blanket sentences, you could say. Love is probably one of the most important things, and for me personally, I look past love because it's either too courageous of me to act in love, or it's too disciplinary for me to act in love, right? Because if you're courageous to love, then that's opening up your own feelings, right? And if you're disciplined to love, you're devoting yourself to God and your highest purpose rather than to the devil or Satan or the ego, that which desires, that which craves things that are not what you really truly want on the inside. And that's why there's the option C. There's always another option. It's not always good and bad, which is another way to explain this. It's not always good and bad, right? You're going to set an intention in half the time because you're not always going to get it right? If you had the intention, you would be able to write your whole manual for how to live life, but nobody knows how to live life perfectly because we are all human. That's why option C is always here. My phone's probably gonna die, so I'll speed through the rest. Release everything, all of your baggage, because you have baggage, and there's a lot of things you're not doing, like being disciplined or being courageous. You just need to be more of those and less of the ego, less of the mind or body. You are not the body or mind. Just realize that. Return to God. Return to home base. Return to your friends and family. Return to love, etc. Shine through everything that's bad, all the darkness, because all darkness is just the absence of God. And God is also inside of the darkness. It's just without any noise, and pure God is silence. Share God, right? Share everything you own, because you don't own anything. So if you don't own anything, everything should be shared, because if everything is shared, that's acting of love, right?